Oh, good morning, people. Good morning. Nothing like getting the keys to someone else's house. And you're like, I need the security code. I need the security code so I can do what I have to do this morning. But good morning, everybody. Good morning. You are watching Touch Base Daily with Ron Foster and friends. So I am Gwendolyn, GR Houston Jack. I'm going to hold the fort down today and tomorrow while our dear Ron is getting himself together for a new adventure. We're so excited to help him get this together. Now, obviously, I am certain he is watching in the background. I am positive he is watching in the background. And perhaps as a Virgo, I can show him some things. So Ron Foster, take notes, dear, take notes. Let me get into it though. Let me get into it because I do, just because you have a substitute teacher does not mean we will not be having our lesson today. We will be having our lesson. We're going to talk about megapixels and misconceptions. Okay. That is today's lesson. I'm thinking like the last 15 to 20 minutes is where we're going to go with that. That's my thought, because I don't think it's going to take me that long. So we will be having class. This is Tip Tuesday. So, because I know how y'all do. You know, back in the day, we were in school and we had a substitute teacher and we just thought, we're not going to get any work done. And they were like, no, we're getting work done. We're like, oh, man. But let me do this. Let me get into some comments, say some hellos to some people, say some hellos. We have Chris R here. Hello, good morning, ma'am. She's here. We have Kimmy Kim in the building. She is here. Good morning to you. Mimi is here. Yes, we're here, people. We're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep it going. We are passing the baton. Now, I was never a track runner. Okay, I wanted to do track, but they had like their favorites for some other middle school that I didn't attend, so we didn't do track. But I could have been a really good. No, I'm not gonna lie like that. I am built for long distance. I am not a sprinter. So we're not gonna even tell that lie this morning. All right. Ms. Elise, good morning. Hello to you. Lisa still in the building. Good morning to you. Lisa, Chris Edwards. He's here. Now, I don't know if Chris is gonna come in tomorrow. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But Chris is here as well. We have Hannah. Hannah's here. Yes. Thank you guys for being here. Now I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it because I did sit with myself last night and yesterday. Let me tell you how Virgos work really quick. Let me tell you how Virgos work, because we a special something. And I'm coming from a background of adjunct professor. So yeah, syllabus and presentations and research, and then adult education, and then presenter on other stages. So Virgos like to get themselves together, right? Like I like to run through things. But then I said to myself, this is not necessarily my house. You know what I'm saying? Like this is somebody else's house. So I am going to work really hard to keep myself together because yeah, I'm not in my house, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna bring Gwendolyn. I'm going to bring all of G today. Yes, Mimi, we are having class today. Okay, I put together a really good lesson because I had a conversation with a dear friend last week, and we were discussing megapixels, and we went down this rabbit hole about megapixels, and I just thought, you know what? I'm not so sure people think about some of this stuff when they choose a camera, choose a phone, or hear what all of the tech reviewers are saying. So I'm a fill in some gaps today. I'm gonna fill in some gaps. Shout out to Jazzy, who is here. Yes, beautiful people. She said, let's throw paper. Look, now if y'all want to come in here and act up, trust, I'm gonna be like, Madam Vice President, and say that y'all can get up and do whatever you got to do in someone else's classroom. But can I just say I love that moment for her? Now, let me stay focused. Let me stay focused. I do have some stories for us. Let me stay focused. And tomorrow on Water Cooler Wednesday, we will more than likely get into all the political stuff. There's a lot happening beyond the tomfoolery that is becoming everyday American life. Okay, so all right, Food Plane is here. Hey, DS, good morning to you. Yes, giving all of the hit me with the stuff. Y'all we gonna be in some things today. We gonna be in some things. I'm here for it. I am here for it. If you want to come on, that's fine. It's not like, I'm gonna say it like this. Not that I don't need you, because I don't need you, but if you want to come along, there is always a seat for you at the table. It is there. There is a seat for you at the table. Cass is here. Blessed, tenacious Tuesday. We have all the hellos. Ron, of course, is here. Told you he in there lurking. It's all right. It's all right. We have Adrian here as well. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. And she says, that's funny. You called me Kimmy Kim instead of Kim Kimmy, just like Ron. I know. You know what? It's the alliteration thing. It is Kim Kimmy underscore too, but I don't know. For some reason, when you look down really quick, you're like, oh, Kimmy Kim. It just kind of happens. Yeah, I know. The eyes. Isn't it funny though? Since you bring that up really quick, isn't it funny how we think we see things? I'm sure a lot of you have ever seen those exercises where the letters are all out of whack or the words are spelled backwards, or it's just acronyms, and we fill in, our eyes are filling in what we believe is or should be there. It is very interesting how the brain fills in gaps and sees things that aren't even there. So, but hey, look at this. In true Ron Foster fashion, I am following in his footsteps. So there you go. Kudos to Gwendolyn for keeping it real. Cass is giving all the claps. Lisa's like, Ron, go do your work. Adrian says, it's like driving a friend's car. You take better care than you would with your car. Man, trust. So the husband got a new vehicle, picked up a new vehicle. And I like how he said, it's our car. Let's not, bruh, really, seriously. Although I have the keys, I could drive if I want to. I felt so anxious driving his car, right? Now, Gwendolyn, if I feel like I got to do 100 and something, I'm going to hit that real quick. And I'm not going to think none about it. I'm not, full disclosure, I have a slight need for speed, but more importantly, if I'm around people who were just piss poor drivers, I get agitated and I just go off running and I don't think none of it, but I'm not in my car. So it's like, you're just you really are extra careful. Now, my car is paid off. If I could put bubble wrap around my vehicle, trust, I would. I would wrap that sucker up so tight and be like, blah, because, she paid for, you know what I'm saying? I love a new vehicle. I like not having an auto loan even more. So that's where I am, right? That's where I am. We're giving all the hellos. Look at this. We're just moving. We're moving. A closet full of glasses. I do have a lot of glasses. Yes. If I think about it, I think I've got 4 or 5 eyewear cases. I have up to I want to say 6 each. Yeah. And they're spread out. So there are the previous prescription. There are the new focal prescription. And then I have the sunglasses. So those are all in there. Yes. It's a damn house. Yes, I can read that, Lisa. I know exactly what that says. It's a great feeling when the auto loan is paid off. Champagne, confetti. I was like, and it's over. So yeah, it feels good. It feels good. Yeah, even Adrian knows. Well, thank you, sir. I'd appreciate it. And shout out to Janet, who is here. Okay, let me get into this, people. Let me get into this. What? Wait a minute. You need a hint. You sound like my husband. He's like, I don't know what that says. How do you? Let me stay focused. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole fooling around with Lisa. Let me get focused. I want to start with this really quick. I need to. I'm going to do mine in loving memory of Diane Keaton. Let me tell you, y'all. There aren't very many women that I admire. Okay, let me say it like this. There aren't a lot of people that I admire. I have a couple, right? Princess one, Octavia Butler, Maya Angelou. Like there's a good number, but Diane Keaton, man, she was on that list. And she was on that list because I absolutely adored and respected her way of how she moved about as a woman, right? She aged gracefully. She was gracious. She was real. She showed up and showed out and loved her sense of style. Oh my God, the suits, the hats. Woo, sister was rocking it. She was rocking it. I loved everything about her, everything she stood for. I'm just like, man. So I was up and about Saturday, got the alert, and I was like, what? No! Yeah. Broke my heart. Now, we are only here for a little bit. I say it quite often. We are here for a little bit. You will do what you're supposed to do, and then you will carry on, right? You would keep going. But she touched a lot of people. I mean, an amazing actress. She had some parts. I know a lot of folks quote, Annie Hall and Scarface, whatnot. This woman has some work. She has some work, and it was really, really good work that had me laughing and crying and just loving everything. But more importantly, I loved how she showed up as a woman, doing her thing, her way, and not giving in to the, and hear me clearly. If you want to get plastic surgery, do you, boo. I'm not even judging that. But understand that if something in you says something is broken, I don't care how much you do out here on the inside, that bitch is still broken. And then you end up looking like the cat lady, right? I'm just saying. That's what it is. I loved what she stood for. That's my deal. So, sending condolences to her family, her friends, her closest loved ones, all of that. But it was so awful to hear her. And, in my head, I was like, now, Lord, I didn't put in some prayers, Lord. Let me not do that. Cause that ain't even right. It's not even right, Gwendolyn. That is so not professional. Ms. Elise says she was definitely one of my favorites. Yes, absolutely. I mean, she was great. And 79. 79 is not old. Not in my book. The fact that we're living longer, I think when you get into your 90s, then we should start talking about something, right? But up until that point, you still doing it because, I watched my parents doing all the things, all of it. And so I'm like, yeah, 79 is you're just kind of getting there, right? But she was definitely a legend. As Lisa says, yeah, she has so many good roles, so many. And her fashion sense, bar none. I mean, she was top tier in so many ways. Yes. And her scarf, some of the fashion tips. Here's the deal. If I had one of those pots of gold, man, the number of suits, and I have a couple of suits that fit me well and rock my style. But when you get a woman who knows how to really rock a suit, and it's just like, tailored, it's couture, it is, Diane was doing that, man. She did that. She did it. And she died, yes, instead of getting surgery. There's ways to do things, but it's the aging for me, the aging gracefully and keeping your definition of womanhood and rocking that like nobody else. That's what I love. Yes, her and Steve Martin, there's so many great movies that she has beyond Annie Hall. It's like, come on, y'all. People stop at a certain time period, a decade, and act like folks have done nothing else. That is not the case. It's not the case. She was still doing what she was doing. Okay, so what's the movie with her and Keanu Reeves? What was that movie? They were on the beach and he was like falling, he was all over her. Oh my God, with Jack Nicholson. I can't think of it now, but that was a great movie too. I mean, hey, What can I tell you? Morning to Brian Young, creative. And yes, we love Diane. We did. We love Diane. So let me do this. Let me get into some news. Let me get in. Thank you. Something's gotta give. Was that not awesome? I think about, before I go for it, that one scene where she's like crying and typing and she's pulling the tissues. It's like, oh, she's crying. She's like, oh, it's just, yeah. I loved her. Absolutely loved her. So, she was in one of the greatest movies ever made, The Godfather. It is a great movie, but we have this, not, and I say we, but we have this thing of picking a time period for people as if they have reached their plateau. When people talk about Prince, they stop in the 80s. That man was making music up until he has a whole vault full that they have not even released. So it's like, can we not stop in the 80s? Brother did some things, you know what I'm saying? So whatever. Dr. Todd is here in the building. Hello. Lisa says, I just saw a clip of the movie when her daughter was getting married and the daughter was screaming at her, "You don't see me." I started to cry. It was a great scene. She has a lot. Isn't there one with like the family stone? That was a good one too. I really like that one. And Janet says, if you focus on the number, that's less energy for quality and the depth of field in your life. Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Oh, Janet bringing out some jewels. Okay, putting out the gems. Something's got to give. Family stone, follow the bride. Yes, the family stone is fire. I was just fooling around one day and saying, let me just watch this. Man, caught all up in that. Caught all up. I mean, that's another great movie. Another great movie. Okay, so now that we have done our memory lane with Diane Keaton, we can keep that going. Let me talk about this real quick. I want to talk about Google. Now, this happened this summer, right? This is Google Work from Anywhere that they started a few years back. Probably guys didn't know, but it's about, working from home, working from anywhere. But this summer, Google decided that they were going to adjust their single remote workday, right? Now, you are allowed an annual 4-week allowance when it comes to working from home. But they changed this summer that working from home one day equals 1 full week. 1 day equals 1 full week. You are allowed only 4 weeks of working from home. I was like, wait, what? How are we doing this? How are we doing this? Because, in my book, a work week, was 5 days. So let's see, 5 times 4. Okay, so that's like 20. Okay. So now you're telling me that when I take the one Tuesday, I have used 1 full week of the 4 weeks I'm allowed in an entire year. Now, people, I'm going to say this real quick. I'll say it real quick. No, what is happening in these rooms with people who make decisions that impact their workforce? I'm just waiting for the workers' revolution, right? I'm waiting for that. Now, I work from home. I get that. I get it. But it doesn't mean that I'm not still looking at what's happening, because career coach, right? But you're not finna tell me that 1 day equals a whole week all of a sudden, out of a year, an entire year. Yes, Jazzy, yes. One day, the one Wednesday you take will now take away 1 of the 4 weeks you're allowed to work throughout the entire year. I mean, if you're going to do that, why not just say y'all can't work from home? I mean, why not just say that? Now, here's what's funny. The hybrid work schedule is not impacted. So you can still do work from home, work in the office. But yeah, if I take 4 days, I'm done. So that math is not mathing. You're right. That math, it doesn't even begin to compute. And I keep saying, who are the people who are thinking this is a great idea. And at one point, do workers all over say, I'm over this. I am over it. Because without me, you don't have not a damn thing. When are we going to do that? When are we going to do that? I'm curious. Yeah. Dr. Chacha says, may the ancestors punish them, man. When people talk about work environment, let me say it like this. There was a time on LinkedIn and everywhere else where there were all these people going on and on about culture, and working from the office was to build culture and camaraderie, and we're going to work together as a team. They ain't even doing that stuff no more. They're like, man, look, we ain't got time for that. We have no time for that. What we're going to do is we are going to have you guys come to the office, or if you don't want to be here, you can leave. Look, man, really? Seriously? That's BS. I would say that one paid vacation day equals 1 week of vacation pay. Pay me, Google. I detest liars. You are allowed 4 days, and just say that. Yes. Just say that you want to give people 4 days to work from home and be done with it. Because that could be the easy thing. Like, you could just say that. Say what you want to say. Say that it's rough out here in these corporate streets. 80% drop of days is crazy math. It is insane. It's insane. So here's where I am as a business person, because I come from an era of work where businesses actually invested in their employees to retain the talent. The whole idea was to not lose your top talent to other people who would come in and poach. That was the deal. That was the day. I did 25 years, 8 months. My brother, whose birthday is next week, he made 25 years last month. We are a dying breed. Right? So we went from take care of your employee, they take care of your customer, we all make money, to now it's how can I be as cheap and greedy as possible and still make money, which isn't working. It's not working. People can be like, oh no, it's like, no, it's not working. It really isn't working. You may think it is, but go into like a CVS where the whole entire store is locked up, and they have 3 people on the sales floor. You have to ring a button to get something. And because nobody's coming, you're like, you know what, scrap it. And now I may go online to buy that because I can't go in the store. It's not that Amazon is killing brick and mortar stores. Those greedy people in that top whatever is killing the brick and mortar store. I mean, look at Toys R Us. Isn't Toys R Us gone? But I got my golden parachute, whatever. Yes. Cass says, here in the US, 5 days, some countries do 4. It can be how you define it. Who defined 5 days as a work week? I understand that completely. I do get that. I know that work weeks change. However, I'm not understanding how I go from work from anywhere and working in my home for 4 weeks, 4 full work weeks, to 1 day equals a full work week. Because if I have to work in this office 5 days, in my head, that's a full work week. So when I want to work from home and you're telling me I'm getting 4 work weeks, they should match what I do in the office. And they don't match what I do in the office. That's my point. That's my point. Right? So I'm just like, I'm trying to understand who thought that was a good idea. It's almost as if somewhere somebody said, as a business leader, we don't really need people, because we've seen them try really hard to take away all these real jobs and put in robots who don't know stuff. And they're like, oh my God, things are going horrible. Yeah, they are. So duh. But they went from that to try to figure out, well, if I can just keep more money for me. Well, at a certain point, if you have no workers and you have no customers, then what exactly are we doing? I'm just trying to figure it out. I just need to understand where this is supposed to go. That you want to get rid of all your workers. You're like, go ahead and leave. Okay, well then who's going to be here? And please don't say AI, because that's not it. Okay. It is a tool. It's a tool that has to be taught, and depending on who's teaching it, it's not very smart. So Please don't say, oh my God, AI. No, if that's the case, put AI in for all the CEOs. I mean, like, what exactly are they doing? Making decisions? Well, use that thing. It can make decisions. Why not? Right? That part, if you don't want your employee base to work from home, just say that. That's what I'm saying. Just say that. Just say, we no longer want to have you work from home. And think about this. We have proven that we can do a majority of these jobs from our home. We know that. Are there particular jobs that require you to be face-to-face? Yes, there are, duh. But all the other jobs that do not require us to be face-to-face, we showed them 2020, 2021, we can do this from home, and actually did more work from home because there's no separation of home and work. I actually put in more hours when I worked from home. Yeah. So don't talk about productivity. I don't want to hear about efficiency. This is about power, right? It's about money. Somebody bought that building and they need people in there to fill it. And then all the restaurants and whatnot. It's about power. This whole deal of the CEO wants you in the building. He ain't even in the building. She ain't even in this building. Well, I got to be in here. Let me not go down that path. Let me stay on there. All right. So if you're at a company that deals with computers, you definitely can do that work at home. Of course you can. You can do it at home. We can do a lot of stuff at home. We show them that we can be at home and be ultra productive. And are there people who need to be with other people? Yes. I had a team. There were some folks who did not want to work on an island. I get that. And they worked in the office. The rest of us had a hybrid schedule. I'm a loner. I ain't got to talk to nobody at any time. I am good and still get stuff done. I'm good. This whole deal of, well, you come in and we talk about things. And when I was in the building, I must have spent 80% of my time BSing, literally 80% BSing. It's like, you actually get less work done in the office because we talking all the time. So whatever. All right, this is a reflection question and something to think about. Can you do 1 week on and 1 week off, or as long as work is done, except for medical, retail, and other occupations that need daily attendance? Yeah, hey, I don't know what Google is trying to do. It seems to me like they are slowly telling their employees, you can't work from home. That's what I am getting. It's all about maximizing profit for them, and they're killing the industry as a whole because if people don't have jobs, they don't shop. That's part that I don't get. It's like somebody missed a couple of lessons in the business class because you need people. You need people. Tomorrow, I want to talk about the GoFundMes and the buy now, pay later. People are using it for groceries, y'all. People are doing GoFundMes for groceries, and they are putting their groceries with a buy now, pay later. I don't want to hear how the economy is doing great. It is not. And that bubble, when it busts, dude, yeah. She said, I just want to write that. Great minds think alike. They want people to quit to reduce the workforce. Yeah, it's a very good chance. It's a very good chance. Here's the deal, though. There is more workers than there are people who are in that echelon, which I don't understand why people don't realize the amount of power they have. If you don't go in, they ain't got nothing to do. I mean, it is that simple, right? Because if you think that you can take all these AI bots and do it, then do it. I want to see that. I really want to see it. That's not the reality, though. But we have this mentality of fear, and that if I don't do this, it's not going to work out, that we just keep on doing the things we're doing, going to jobs that we don't like, that are physically making us ill. This is not today's lesson, so let me stay focused. But we can talk about that. You're speaking the total truth. Yes, we proved it. We proved that we can do this work from home, but that gives you autonomy. It gives you power. It gives you choice. And God forbid if workers get choice and any kind of power. Can't have that. That goes against the system. Oh, all right. It's a shame that they messing with work from home. They're saving money or utilities, etc. when we are not in office. You would think. We're going to find out how this works. It's on my list of things to watch. Working from home alleviates driving congestion, air pollution, etc. Right? All the things. The toll it takes on your car. And I say this, yes, is it great to have sometimes a little downtime between work and getting to home? Yeah. It is. However, not having to put gas in your car and the tires and the maintenance, that goes longer because you're not in 2 hours of traffic every day. And it does impact you mentally. Okay. We're not going to lie about some of these things today. Hello, Aya. Welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here. Nobody connects the dots. Everything is a single island. Whew. The economy is trash, and now there are talks about a stimulus. That's a scam. Let's not fall for it. We wouldn't need a stimulus economy as well. Man, there is definitely that. And we can work in our underwear. I still got dressed, although people were like sitting around and they draw some things. It's like, I still got dressed, but I know people were doing some sort of half thing. It's a lot of urban cities. The big office buildings are centrally located. I think the thought is other small businesses, restaurants were closing without customers, and they were. I think they still are. Some of them still are at this point. But yes, there are people, like if you have a corporate campus, kind of like a little warehouse area, if you will, where everybody's around there, all of those restaurants depend on that traffic to do what they do. And some of them, at least where I worked, were only open for certain hours because of that traffic. Once the traffic is gone, I can close my doors. It sucks. I do believe hybrid work is a great way. Like do 2 or 3 days in or 2 or 3 days out. There's no need to be in there every single day. I didn't see it. I was clear. I did 2 days in and 3 days out because my team wasn't even in the same state. The majority of them were not in the same state. So why I got to be there? That don't make sense. But here's my next story. This is going to get you. WestJet. WestJet wants to now charge people for reclining their seats on their refreshed Boeing 737. People, let me tell you really quick. So WestJet just had some planes refreshed, and they said there is no way that I'm going to let people recline their seat unless they pay to recline their seats. Therefore, if you get economy, your seat does not recline, but to get a reclining seat, you're going to have to pay an upcharge. Let me tell you something real quick. People, it really feels as if we need to have a consumer worker reckoning because y'all act like I have to get on your bitch ass plane. Now, depending on where you're going, perhaps we have got to get to some options. I did a whole video about traveling, and I have a really old Gurkha steamer trunk where you would like put in your clothes that hang and then you could fold. Yeah, it was beautiful. I actually took that trunk to NYU in 1994. I remember traveling with 3 pieces. I would have one whole bag full of Puma sneakers and then another bag, which is like all my clothes. And then, we actually traveled and took luggage. And now everything is nickel and diming, at least the American consumer, right? You want to pack in more chairs, make them closer, so less space, but charge us more. We can't take luggage unless you want to charge for that. And then depending on what you fly, if you take a carry-on, you want to charge for that. It's ridiculous. And now you're telling me you want to charge people to recline their seats. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord, 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 Lord. Yes, this is, who are these people? Who are the people sitting in these rooms? I just want to know. I want to know who are these people. All right, let me get to the comments before we go on. This is for our previous story. Yes, people get caught out there forgetting they were in their undies. Then they're on a Zoom call. I don't know what that was about. Like, I don't check your mirrors. Like if you take pictures, make sure everything in your picture is like really good. I remember someone did a review for the Container Store and uploaded this picture, and there was a mirror behind them, butt naked. We had to take that down immediately. So like, just, check your background. That's all I'm saying. Check your background. That is that BS, Chris. That's that BS. That's that BS all the way around. She says that they don't go to hell. Excuse my language. That's language, girl. But I'm sick of these companies. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, right? Like who sat in the room and said, "Hey, y'all, hold on. Here's how to make more money. When we refresh this plane, let's create seats for economy that don't recline." And they all like, "That's amazing. Yes." Who agreed to that? Now, is there pushback? They are getting some slack. I don't know if they're going to go through with it. Good idea, bad idea. I don't know. That's super bullshit. Charge them the damn badass kids for banging on the back of our seats the whole flight. Ugh. Kimmy's so true. That happened to my office building. Now they sublease the space and we are 100% remote and we can't go back to the space. Subs are keeping the small business going. I will say this, during COVID, Dropbox went 100% work from home. It's doable. It is doable. Yes. Next option. Yes. I feel you. I feel you there. Oh, hey, D Toggle. Hey, good morning, sir. Good morning. Yes. We already don't have any leg room. You don't have any leg room. They have shrinking the cabin space above, like to put your bags. They are shrinking everything, but raising prices. And at what point do American consumers, because I'm only talking for America here, right? At what point do we say you can take that and that whole plane? If you stop showing up, if you stop buying the BS, something has to change. No customers, no business. It can be that simple. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a road tripper. One, I take a lot of photo equipment. I'm not putting that on the plane. I have from time to time when I work out of state, I will rent something and pick it up in that city. But I take my photo equipment. We in the car. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, but I stop, we take photos, we dilly dally. That's what we do. But that right there, to recline your seat, you now want to charge me to recline my seat. When are we going to say enough is beyond enough? I just want to know. I want to know. Let me keep moving because my time is ticking. Woohoo! All right. Yes, they continue to push the limit because we accept those limits. Dr. Tachi, people have got to say no mas. At what point do we say we are not going to do it? And stick to it. Find other ways. We have got to put our foot down. Otherwise, they're going to keep nickel and diming us. They're going to keep doing it. Spirit has gotten away with malarkey for a long time. It's probably where they got it from. She says, my pet peeve at this point is that they do not regulate the one bag carry-on. People are taking 2 or 3 bags on the plane, and then when another person comes on, they like to have you check it. Yeah. There's a lot going on there. She said, I just hollered. They will start charging to use the restroom on the plane. Man, what's going to stop them? If people do not, you guys are the same thing. If people do not put their foot down, I've never flown Spirit. I just watch and read a lot of the news. I will tell you that. Like, I'm not on a lot of stuff, but I will. Ghetto Soul Play Spirit. Yeah. I don't know, y'all. Hey, what can I tell you? Before I go, because I know that we are like so close to everything. I got one more story. One more time. Okay, here we go. Penny Production is leaving businesses shortchanged. Now, you're probably saying, okay, well, who needs pennies? Don't nobody care about them pennies until you get there and you pay with cash. Now, I still carry cash, right? But here is the deal. If you don't have exact change, some companies are telling the people at the register to round up. Yep, I said it. Round up. Quick Trip is the only one that I have read thus far, who are telling their team to round down into like the nearest 5 cents, right? So somewhere in there. Here is the deal. Do I believe that I like the penny? I mean, I have a lot of pennies. I probably should turn these pennies in. I mean, they're in the piggy bank, just sitting there. So maybe I should turn them in. But they have said this, even with the coin stars and all these other places that take in pennies. It's not enough. We know, okay, maybe we didn't know. It's like 3 point something cents to produce a penny. Go figure. So the idea was to stop producing them and that we would be able to make it to 2026. That's not happening. It's not happening. People are already seeing the short change. And so you have Team Round Up to the nearest nickel saying, yeah, just pay more. I'm not paying more, partner. That is a no. You got Quick Trip and all of their businesses saying, we're going to round down. Err on side of the customer, because ain't nothing like customer service, you know. Why would you tell folks to round up? Now, it wouldn't be so bad if this administration would have a resolution in place, and they don't have one yet. Yeah. I believe, yes, you got to make changes. You got to do what's better, but have something in place, which, of course, that's asking for a lot from this administration. So Chris says, he's Delta and American. We're in Dallas. American is the hub here. So there is a lot of American, but we don't, when we have to fly, it's typically to New York or international. Other than that, road tripping. Hey, Omar is here. Never too late. You're never too late, man. We happen to have you here. Yes, round. That's what I say. Why round up? Like, I'm rounding down. He said, I round up on my Apple Pay for charity at stores. I don't use cash these days. Yeah. I know they asked for the rounding up for charities. So it may go over well for some people who do that. But for the folks who don't do that, like if you're paying cash, then it's like, you either use exact change or, like I said, some people are, well, we could just round up. She said, I'm starting to dislike being this timeline, man. Ooh, when I say I am deep in prayer, I meant that. I meant it. If it weren't someplace and they rounded up, I would go back specifically to buy something that cost 99 cents and pay it for in pennies. Hey, they need the pennies. They need the pennies. We know that this time was coming. The problem was they didn't put a plan in place, which is like a lot of things. You want to get rid of healthcare, but you don't have a plan in place. Where's the plan? You said tearing down stuff, but don't have things ready. Makes no sense to me. I saw someone make their floor with pennies. It was beautiful. Yes. I mean, it's quite nice. I mean, it's nice. It's nice. There is a dude who got a county fine for something with his construction or whatever after he did all he was supposed to do, and they still fined him. He paid, I think it was like either $2,000 in pennies, something like that. Talk about top tier pettiness, man. I was like, you are my kind of people. I thought they were discontinuing the penny altogether. They are. But again, there's no plan yet. So, you throw stuff out there and you're like, oh, we have time. You don't have that time. Now, if we could look and see how many people have pennies in their piggy banks, like my husband has a 5 gallon water. Was it tank? Was it a jug? It's got a lot of pennies in there. So I'm sure he could give it up. And he keeps adding. I don't carry change. I carry 5 pennies at most because I can always do a little something there. But other than that, I don't carry change. Right? I carry cash, but not the change. So I don't know what's going to. I don't know. If they had a plan in place, we wouldn't be in this boat. But as typical mediocre people do, they ain't got no plan. And I said it, they ain't got no plan. Hey, Omar, good to see you too, sir. Good to see you. You said stores don't seem to have cash in general in the registers. I believe they bring in less than what they used to. I do believe that, which is why they're like, hey, I don't have any change. You got any change? Because they're not ordering as much as they used to. So that part is true. I will never round up for a charity at a store because they use that money to pay the company back the money that they already donated. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I guess Dump feels like his Dump RX is the replacement. His ego's so ridiculous, man. Oh, I know, y'all. But that is what we have for the news today. We're going to have some really great news tomorrow, too. I'm going to talk about Stephen A. and Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. And I also want to talk about this full out assault on education. We're going to go there too. Those are at least 2 topics for tomorrow's Water Cooler Wednesday. But it's class time. Now, if you don't want to be in class, feel free to leave now. I'm not going to hold it against you. You will not get it incomplete. But we're going to talk about megapixels and misconceptions. We're going to talk about that really quick. I got like a little bit more than 15 minutes, but I can get this. I can get this. What'd you say, Cloud? I can get this done. I can get her done. I can get her done. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to talk about what are megapixels? What are they really? The myth of more is better. And can you tell? I have an exercise. I want to know if you can tell me what's what. And then what's enough for the job? And then we're going to end it with, when do the megapixels really matter? Because people out here talking about megapixels. And I'm like, depends on where you are and what you're doing. So let me just go with this really quick. So for all of you who don't know, but now you know, a megapixel is simply just 1 million pixels, right? They are tiny dots of color that come together to form a digital image. Now, if you were like me, and maybe you were that kid who was like, I'm going to figure this out. If you were, I'm telling my age, if you ever got really close to the TV to see if you can see all the dots. I don't know why. It was my science brain. Then you would know that when you get really close, you can see the individual pixels. That's not why I wear glasses, but I'm just saying. But you probably don't want to do that. But here is the twist, right? If you had more megapixels, you do have the potential to get more detail. That's not always the case. Okay. Sometimes it really depends on what you're printing. If you're printing a billboard, yes, you need a lot of megapixels. If you're going to do some heavy cropping, you need some megapixels, like trust. But your average person cannot tell 12 megapixels from 45. And your camera's megapixel count does not have any impact when it comes to lighting, composition, and story. We need that to be on point. If you're going to put any energy into what needs to be, then that needs to be in lighting, composition, and your story. Put it there. So here is the deal. More pixels does not equal more talent. I can tell you right now, as a matter of fact, if you have the fanciest camera, does not mean you're talented, because I've seen that go absolutely nowhere. Let me go with this. The more is better. So you'll hear somebody say, I need the latest camera, the latest gear. You'll hear, I need a 40 megapixel camera to be legit, or I need a mirrorless camera. Gwendolyn is DSLRs. They are still doing the job. Can't nobody tell. Here's the reality. Most screens and prints don't need all those megapixels. And if you're on Instagram, Instagram is going to compress your photos. They're going to really shrink it down. And there are limits. Let me come back really quick. So I did this beautiful photo of myself and my husband for our anniversary. I love the photo. I'm getting it printed. I put that sucker on Instagram and they compressed that bitch. When I tell you I was hot, super hot. Now, when I do export with certain features for social, extra sharpening and stuff like that. I make sure it's a certain size. So for it to be compressed, I was like, why is it fuzzy? I'm not happy at all. I didn't take it down. I left it, but I'm not happy at all. Yeah. So when we're talking about megapixels, and you're going to hear a lot of it right now, and I'm going to focus on specifically cell phones, our smartphones, because everyone's like, oh, it's got a so-and-so megapixel camera. Da, da, da. First of all, I could care less, but that's just me. My dear partner, Ron, would say otherwise, but who cares? Let me get back. Here's my point. People. Let me go here. All right, here's the test. I want to know. As I run through these comments, I want to know. Now, on this page, these 6 photos, one of these photos is from my Canon EOS R5, right? I think it's running like $4,000, okay? And on this page right now is a photo from my 2017 Samsung S8 Plus. Okay? I want to know, can you tell? Please put in the comments. Is it A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F? One of those. I want to know. I'm going to run through these comments. I want to know what you guys think which one is. Which can you tell? Can you tell which one is from a $4,000 camera? Which one is from a 2017 phone? As Omar says, I can still do a billboard work with a 12 megapixel camera. Yes, I want to know. Hey, and shout out to Bryson who is here. Yes, thank you, sir, for being here. What you mean? Nope. You can't pick one. You got to pick one. Just pick one. Throw it in the comments. A, B, C, D, E, or F. Can we tell? She said, okay. So she said, okay, Jazzy has D. All right. We got Jazzy has D. Who else wants to take a swing at what's what? Derek is saying C. C is the one. And I know that you're watching from either your TV or a laptop, desktop, your phone, but see what you can see. Chris is saying D as well. All right. We got a couple of options there, a couple of options. Hannah says E. Hannah is saying E. And here's why I bring it up as you guys put in your answers. I was out taking some photos with my phone, my Fold 7, which has a 12 megapixel, a 50 megapixel, and a 200 megapixel cat. Dr. Tachi, now look, you are supposed to be my top student. The question is, which one of these photos is from the $4,000 camera and which one is from a 2017 smartphone? That's our question. There we go. There we go. Which one do you think it is? So we'll see which one Dr. Tachi picks, and then I'm going to reveal what they are. Is it A, B, C, D, E, or F? Now, I know that there's a little bit change in lighting, so because my lights are going off behind me. So Jason, she said, I can't tell. All right. I'm going to throw it in here. I'm going to show the answers now. And here we go. Number one, A, that is a Samsung 8 Plus. It's 12 megapixels. That's from 2017. The 45 megapixel, the R5, is the C. That's the Canon R5 over there. Now, my Canon EOS, which is 26 megapixels, that is D. That one I used to do all my content creation, right? And it's what it is. You say B smartphone? Yes. So B, E, and F are all from my Samsung Fold 7 because it has three. It has three, 250 and 12 megapixels on there. Right? They're all there. Here's why I bring this up. One, can't nobody tell, right? The only people who were doing this whole, how big is your megapixel, swinging it around, those are the folks who claim to be photographer people or want to be tech people. Don't nobody care how many megapixels. I almost said something else. How many megapixels? What? Bryson, are you serious? Bruh, really? Hold on, y'all. Bryson's giving us the news. Hold on. Are you serious? You just can't put stuff out there like that and then like, I gotta check it. I can't even type right now because what? Oh my God. Ugh. Oh man. I'm not even gonna do like the breaking news thing because I mean I don't have that in my heart to do that. But I am okay, hold on. Okay, I need a moment. I really do. Hold on. Wow. Jeez. Okay. All right. So, hold on. Oh. Okay, I just wow. That one kind of hit different. Man, I just wow, I didn't think I was gonna react that way. I'm whoa. Okay. Oh, dude. Oh man. Well. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I did not see that. Did not see that coming. Obviously, I mean, as Chris says here, he had that private battle with cancer. We're seeing that. We're seeing that in our comments here, and it's just yeah, yeah, yeah. We are gonna. Ooh. Well, let me do this. We've got 5 minutes left. So tomorrow we'll be sharing our best D'Angelo moments. We can go ahead and put that down there. I remember seeing him in concert and waiting backstage to get my because I had a front row seat to get my autograph. I got his and Angie Stone. It was an amazing concert. So we'll be sharing some of that tomorrow. Yeah, man, that one took me all. That one got me in my throat. It got me in my throat. Oh God. Hold on. I have to sort of inhale here. I gotta inhale. Here's the deal. We are coming and going, and at some point you have to recognize that we are mortal. Now, I will say this, even though the physical body is gone, we live on through our families, friends, memories, the work that we live that we leave here for others to enjoy. So gone physically, but how many times have you guys been playing some D'Angelo music, right? Like we are in it. We are in it, and it hurts in the moment, right? But this is part of living. You come and you go. We're not meant here to be here forever. If you've ever seen Death Becomes Her, which I absolutely love, the idea of living forever, like think about what that looks like. The people who live to be 99, they have seen some stuff. 106, 105, they are seeing some stuff. But then you watch everyone else around you leave, right? It's just, but I want that. No. But we live forever through memories, by saying their name, by appreciating their work. So we'll be sharing more of our D'Angelo memories tomorrow. She says pancreatic cancer at 51 is crazy. God bless him. Hopefully Angie met him at the gates. Yes, that is young. That is young, people. That is young. It that's just what that is. Yeah, I'm not okay either, Mimi. I'm like, I just didn't see that one coming. Didn't see, I mean, I know people are all dealing, and there's a lot of folks who are dealing with some sort of illness right now that we may have experienced their art in some form or fashion. And there is a choice to do it privately. My mother's friend, who is like an aunt to me, I wanted to see her before she passed, but she was very clear. She didn't want anyone to see her in that state. So I only know her as the full body person that she is. So I respect his decision on how he wanted to handle it. But it is a lot. It can be a lot. It can be a lot, especially with everything that's going on. It can be a great deal to deal with. So let me wrap this up. As I'm trying not to like blow my nose on camera, because that's that's a bit much. That's a bit much. Let me go ahead and wrap up our class today. Sorry, Ron, you can't use this Tip Tuesday for something else, but let me wrap it up. So here is the deal. You've got a whole bunch of cell phones on here, 2 cameras. Nobody knows what you're doing, but more importantly, there is a place where you can use it and when it can be too much. If you're doing social media, 8 to 12 megapixels is great. If you're going to print something, you can go 16 to 24 because you get sharp details. If you're doing large prints or printing, you're doing a lot of cropping, 30 megapixels is not too bad because, it gives you a lot of flexibility. So when does it really matter? Heavy cropping, printing, billboard size, shooting for commercial clients. But even then, it's not the only thing that matters. So consider that. And here's my story with all of that. I use my 200 quite often when I'm out and about because I do like to do some cropping. But then when I go to put it on social media, I have to resize the image. So I remind myself, if it's going for social media, just do 12. If you're doing it for something else, you can do the 200. More isn't always better. So that much we know. And I'm going to end it with Cass's statement here, her comment. You have to celebrate their life, their lived in touches, along with all the memories. Everyone handles grief differently. True. Yes, that is two that were unexpected. You know, I say this is why I live the way I live. I'm going to do what I got to do today. I'm going to hug my loved ones, call my friends, party like there is no tomorrow, because I don't know if tomorrow is actually promised. Whoa, we're getting all the things. Okay, well, let me do it for this. Okay, hold on, Omar, hold on. I am going to do this. It's Omar's birthday. That is what we're going to do. That's our breaking news. I want to do it for that. It's Omar's birthday, so shout out to you, sir. Birthday blessings to you. So happy that you were here. And I'm going to run through these comments really quick. But tomorrow, if you want to bring your best D'Angelo memories, then bring them. We'll do that celebration and also talk about, and yes, while you're here, give Omar his flowers. Because, okay, I'm not going to say what my dad said exactly, because my dad said, if you didn't F with me when I was here, when I'm gone, don't worry about it. Okay. So yes, give the people that you want to talk to today their flowers. We are not promised the next minutes, let alone next week. Celebrate your loved ones today. If you got somebody you want to call them today. Let's not assume that, I don't know, live for the moment, celebrate. No matter what's going on. With that, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Oh, one more. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the day. Be safe.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.